Three isms we need to talk about for the start of World War I. First one is nationalism, which is the belief that your country is superior to all others, that its interest comes first, and that you need to ignore the wishes of any other country in order to get what it is that's best for you. Second is imperialism, the drive to take colonies. This was going on all over the world at this time, and as you guys can see, it was big business. What you see in red here is just the British Empire. Now keep in mind, the French, the Germans, the Italians, the Russians, even the Americans all were striving for empire at this time. That is bound to lead to conflict, especially considering the money and resources involved. And then finally, militarism, military buildup. People felt the bigger an army you had, the safer you were. The more soldiers you had, the more weapons, the less likely your neighbors were to attack you. The only problem is when one country built up its military, all the other ones did too. Before real long, we had a whole bunch of countries with real big armies nervously staring at each other. So the solution they came up with was alliances. An alliance works out like this. One country gets a couple other countries together. Their thought is, or they tell these other countries, if anybody attacks you, we'll attack them with you. So the whole idea is the more allies I have, the less likely I am to be attacked. After all, I might want to fight one country, but I don't want to fight 2, 3, or 4 at the same time. The problem with alliances is that should two countries go to war, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 could be drawn into it very, very quickly, and a small war becomes a big war. There are two major alliances we need to know about. First was called the Triple Entente, and then later the Allied Powers. That was Russia, Great Britain, and France. Opposing them was the Triple Alliance or Central Powers, which was made up of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. Italy was supposed to be in there, but they decided to back out at the last minute. So we have these two major alliances, but nobody is quite ready to fight yet, until we have an assassination of an Austrian leader. This takes place actually in Sarajevo over Serbia. There was a nationalist society in Serbia called the Black Hand Society, and they decided that in revenge for Austria-Hungary having dominated their country, they were going to kill the heir to the throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The assassin picked for this was a young man named Gavrilo Princip. And Gavrilo Princip actually failed on his first assassination attempt, only to have the Archduke's car quite literally back out in front of him, at which point he kills both the Archduke and his wife. Now this is a problem. The Austro-Hungarian government went nuts, as you can imagine, and decides they are going to fight a war with Serbia. So our first two combatants, Serbia and Austria-Hungary, and this is where it should end. In U.S. history class, we shouldn't even look at it. But we have the alliance system. Serbia had formed an alliance with Russia, so Russia jumps into the war. Austria-Hungary had an alliance with Germany, so when Russia jumps in, Germany jumps in. Russia, of course, had their alliance with France and Britain. So when Germany jumps in, France and Britain jump in. This brings us to Italy, who should have jumped in, but decided it was a bad deal and got out.